I played a lot of DDLC mods, and I mean a lot. Ever since I played the original game, I wanted to find a way to save Sayori and play my first mod called Salvation. I played it and was a little bit disappointed outside of Yuri being a Giga Chad there. It wasn't bad, it was kind of weird. I played Blue Skies afterward, and deep down, I think we could all agree it's the #1 mod. I felt many emotions playing this mod and enjoyed most of the routes and recommend it for any new DDLC fan. Yuri's route there is a solid 9 out of 10, while Natsuki's is alright. Go play Found Love instead. However, the Sayori route is emotional, and her bad ending is one of the most depressing things I've seen in all of fiction. Her good ending is happy, if you know what I mean. That got me thinking. Is there a mod that has a satisfying good ending for Sayori that doesn't come at the expense of the others being background characters? A couple mods later, I stumbled upon Relapse and oh my gosh, this mod needs more recognition. It has heart, good character moments, and most importantly Sayori. Hey, I see you other Doki fans over there. Don't worry, this mod has moments for your favorite Doki as well. Now sit down while I tell you how good this mod is. This mod starts off with you waking up in the middle of the night after seeing Sayori play League of Legends and realizing you've been sent back to the start of the game. You walk with Sayori to school and to the club, but decide to rinse up Natsuki as your first instinct, which is interesting since the mod implies that you went on a Natsuki route, but you still haven't forgotten about Sayori's depression. Except Monika starts to notice some stuff is off. Also, this line holds up decently well considering this mod was made in 2018.
Hey,
Speaking of 2018, this
good.
mod has some pre-2018 humor. You get along with everyone until club time is over and Monika asks if you watch anime. Whatever option you choose doesn't get used, which is peculiar. You and Sayori walk to the park together, talk about her past, and you ask if Sayori is alright, which leads to you apologizing for the past neglect. Sayori assures that she'll be alright, and notices your nose is bleeding, which you flick her head in response and tell her you'll be alright. Then you go home and pretty much fall down. Meanwhile, Monika's in the corner realizing she got rinsed up. All of a sudden, there's a secret character that talks about how MC's been modified, and you as the player are important to the story. The next day, Sayori visits your house and walks with you to school, only for you to realize that you forgot to write your poems, and within an hour, you write poems for each Doki while also thinking of the others may have issues as well. You decide to talk to Yuri, and she actually has an entertaining personality, while also keeping her introverted and analytical traits, unlike some Yuri mods. She gives you her phone number and plans to go over to your house. Then it's time to share poems, and the cool thing about this mod is that you can actually see the poems with the words used from the minigame. However, Monika started taking the risk effect and things start glitching out. There's an argument between Yuri and Natsuki, and you being the chat that you are mediate the argument, leading to Monika being risked up again. Club time is over and Yuri visits your house. You start having a good time, but then you start physically dying and Yuri finds that hot and kisses you. We cut back to Monika in the corner, sees your Riz as you going off script and starts thinking about being together with you. The same night you text Sayori out of worry, and Sayori responds that she's alright and asks if you're alright, which gets you a bit flustered. Then a mysterious character talks about how the game is slowly being corrupted and influences you as best as they can. The next day, Sayori notices you're dying and helps you on the way to school, where you have some cute banter on the way to the club, but she starts feeling a bit down and Yuri isn't there, which is also a bit sus. Monika wants to get you to walk with her to her house and you oblige because you also want to make sure she's alright. Yet you stop along the way to make sure Sayori and Yuri are okay. However, you assure Monika you do care about her and you don't want to see anything bad happen to her. After getting some medicine from the store, you get messages from Yuri about Among Us. Immediately afterward, you rush to Yuri's house only to get out-rizzed by Natsuki on the way there. You both arrive and talk to Yuri individually. I would have dropped the mod here if you couldn't do anything, but you actually do. You listen to Yuri about why she has a fascination for literature and her isolation, how it leads to her love for characters. You assure her that while you are real, you don't feel the same way, but your care is real and you want her to know that. I just love this one because this legit would have fixed half the problems in exit music. Meanwhile, Monika thinks that you and her are meant to be because you're breaking the script and tries to lead Sayori to get you all to herself, but it doesn't work. Then she receives a poem telling her that being a yandere is cringe from a mysterious character and she goes to woog over it. You walk around at night and Sayori arrives. You talk about your day and while Sayori's insecurities start to burst out, you realize it's time to reveal that you do know about her depression and want Sayori to be honest with how she feels about you, which leads to her admitting her love. At that moment you realize that you do love her and want to reciprocate her feelings. Now I usually get annoyed when Sayori and MC get together for the sake of it, but it actually feels genuine from this mod. You get together, the next day starts. You're dying again as Sayori helps you on your way to school. As you're walking, she goes in for a kiss and you refuse since you also need to be honest about what happened with Yuri. Realistically, Sayori gets upset about the truth, and instead of having mod trumps where Doki Doki split for half the mod, they actually talk it out. Now let's go see what Monika's up to. She drags you to a music room and starts playing the most banger music you've ever heard. Then you start playing Your Reality and absolutely destroy her. You get out of the room to talk to Yuri, and Natsuki starts getting a bit Yuri for Yuri, if you know what I mean. She starts getting upset about how she wasn't there to help Yuri, and you give her some head pass, which Monika starts getting jealous of and flips out. Then the club starts discussing what to do for the festival, and where have I seen this before? You being the chat that you are, planned out what to do over the weekend, but Monika's being a tsundere over you having Yuri's number, which causes you to stress out about your plan to save everyone not working. At least Sayori came by to comfort you about it. Why aren't you real? After you and Sayori's date, you notice Monika as she starts talking about how the world is glitching and you think she's crazy. Then you start dying again the next day and the game glitches out. Sayori goes to visit you and you assure her that you're fine until she brings up all the time you've been sick and the medication on the table. You come clean and explain out, while you are sick, you're trying to help everyone and she decides to help you out a bit. You both have the idea of talking with Monika and helping to rest out with the festival. You talk with Monika about her issues and she brings up that she's all alone and gets headaches all of a sudden, and then you walk her home. Afterward, you work with Yuri on the banners, and as they're dying, she actually gives you some advice on how to deal with the physical pain, and it actually works for a bit. You work with Natsuki with the cupcakes and get out-rizzed again. Then comes the day of the festival and things are going fine until you start getting headaches and the mysterious character starts talking to you. The character reveals the truth that it's MC from a corrupted save and that the world that they live in is a game. You gotta confront Monika about it and the mysterious character said that they try to give the game a second chance by trying to save everyone. While you're trying to help everyone though, the game was going off script, meaning that it will keep getting corrupted until something happens. The solution being you have been granted club president and must be deleted along with everyone else's memories being wiped. Sayori overhears and begs you not to go. You ask Monika to give you presidential power to get rid of her self-awareness, and then you can actually see into the code and notice that Sayori's depression status was lowered when you decide to help her. You go talk to Sayori about letting her memories remain, but to help others like she did for you, which is just sweet. You flick her head, and then you die. The credits roll, and at the end, everyone is with each other as Sayori's looking out for Natsuki and flicks her head. The last person you wanted to help was Natsuki, and Sayori did that for you. This is my second favorite mod of all time, and my favorite Sayori mod. There is a lot I left out, and that's mainly due to the time constraints because this mod is the longest non-root mod I've ever played aside from Within and our Castle Walls. I do recommend this mod for anyone who just wants a solid story because I think this is one of the near perfect ones other than Blue Skies. Yeah, I know I'm cutting it close with the release of this video, but I just want to get Relapse's name out there for the time of the anniversary. I did mention I played a lot of mods, and I do have my favorites for each Doki. For Sayori, I recommend Relapse, her Blue Skies route, and Nightmares. For Yuri, I recommend her Blue Skies route, Our Castle Walls, and Outcast if you can even find it on the internet. Natsuki, I recommend Found Love as it's really underrated as a non-tragedy mod, unlike the Exit Music mods. Monika has like no mods, but I enjoyed Within and her Purist route.